All right. Yeah, I'm alive. Hold on. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Check, check. Awesome. Here we go. Okay. So, uh, the regular open phone lines are not going to be happening tonight due to the paranormal podcast awards. Say that 5 times fast. For 2022 that are happening tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And those are probably going to go for a while. So I'm going to be watching those live as I'm nominated um, I'm nominated for 2 different categories for Bigfoot Society. So I'm going to go ahead and share this real quick because people are not expecting this to be live right now. But I want to get the word out. So go ahead. I'm going to hop into YouTube. And all right, there we go. So I'm going to hop over to Twitter real quick. Hello, I see there is one person watching right now. If you have a Bigfoot story, anything weird, or you have any, strange stuff you can't explain, or UFOs or aliens, go ahead. I'm going to make sure. Yep, my do not disturb is turned off. If you have a any story to share, you can call 515-809-0165. I'm going to go ahead and share this on YouTube real quick. Happening right now from 4:50 to 5:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. Call in with your weird story. 515-809-0165. Live on YouTube and recorded for the podcast. So go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out real quick. I see I've got a few watchers right now. Thanks for hanging out with me on YouTube, guys. This is really cool. I'm going to post this in the Bigfoot Society Facebook group real quick. And just so people know. All right. Did we have a call? Not yet. No calls yet. Let's see. Oh, I had a really interesting thing. I was on TikTok earlier. I'll share this story. So I was on TikTok and I was doing a live, which I usually don't do TikTok lives, but I was just kind of messing around with it. And I had this guy, Gust. His name was Gust from Arizona come on. And I'm going to try to see if I can get the audio from the interview I did with him and put it up on the podcast. He did give me the okay in the interview to do it, but he had the craziest stories. He said that he found a wrecked UFO and he was able to find wreckage from the UFO and that he was an Uber driver and that he actually ended up picking up a gentleman. The gentleman said he was Bob Lazar, which is pretty much the guy. He used to work at Area 51 and without Bob Lazar and those guys, we wouldn't know about Area 51. That's the idea. So pretty much this guy named Gust, who's a cool dude, he says that he was able to, he drove Bob Lazar. He didn't know who Bob Lazar was at the time. Bob told him his story while he was driving him on Uber. But it was crazy. Like the first thing when Bob went in this guy's car, that he was saying, he was like, "Hey, are you recording anything in here? Is anything recording?" Like, he was very adamant about, like, is stuff in here being recorded before I talk at all? So, it definitely was a guy who was used to being under surveillance or that knew about surveillance. So, it was a pretty cool, story that came out of a TikTok live. Um, but if you want to follow over on TikTok, you can look up Bigfoot.society. That is the one. Oh, who do we got in here? Long Island Bigfoot says, "Hey, Bob Lazar did some legendary whistleblowing. He was the king of whistleblowing. My goodness." And then it's pretty crazy. Like, only in the last few years have people started to believe him and realize that he was probably saying what was legit. Let's see. Hides in long grass says injured cold would have been better. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you get injured cold and when you're driving Uber in West Virginia or something like that is the ultimate, you just won Monopoly. You're going to get $200 when you pass go. And actually, when you pass every square. Yeah, so that's true. That's true. Well, want to do a shout out. We'll do a few shout outs, but the first thing I want to do is make sure that you are watching tonight on YouTube the Paranormality Magazine Paranormal Podcast Awards for 2022. Bigfoot Society has been nominated for 2 separate awards. So make sure you watch that over on their YouTube live. See which one of your favorite podcasts wins. It'll be a good time. Let's see what else happened on. Was reading some Bigfoot reports today from the BFRO. It's very interesting. Was reading a report from 1999 from the Humboldt County region of California. A gentleman who was fishing down a river saw a Bigfoot hides in long grass. The awards, it's Paranormality Magazine 2022 Paranormal Podcast Awards. It's hard to say. There's a lot of plosive P's in it, as you can hear. But that's at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on YouTube. You don't want to miss that. Just search for paranormalitymag.com, and you can see what that's all about. So, back to the story. There's a story where a gentleman was fishing down the river, and he stumbled upon, went around a corner, and he saw at least one Sasquatch. It's very interesting. The interesting thing that he saw was, the Sasquatch was very hairy, hairy Bigfoot as you would think, but there are patches without hair on the chest of the male Sasquatch, which the witness thought, well, maybe it is regarding mange or something. So, just another interesting thing, talked to another person earlier where I asked him, hey, did you hear any vocalizations? And the weird thing that everyone says is, I heard whistling. So it's like, yeah, knocking can be when a tree, when the temperature goes down, right? But the thing about that is the temperature isn't changing all the time, right? But the weird thing, when you hear whistling, It's not like is that something I guess the wind could be whistling, but it's gonna sound a little different. It's gonna sound like wind, right? You know the difference between if the wind is making a whistle noise versus if a primate type figure is actually putting its lips together and making a whistling type noise, right? There's a huge difference. So let's see here. And if you've got any stories about Bigfoot or weird stuff, UFOs, aliens, it'd be 515-809-0165. This is a live show right now, so anything can happen. Definitely feel free to call in 515-809-0165. Looks like we have three people in the chat. We got four people watching right now. Go ahead, if you guys could do me a favor, take the link for this and share it in all your Bigfoot groups real quick because most people are looking for this to happen at 9 to 10 Central Standard Time, and this is a totally different time for this to happen. It's kind of I'm doing it now so that I can watch the awards later. The Paranormality Magazine Paranormal Podcast Awards 2022. I'm going to say that more than a few times in this live show. Let's see here. Looks like Cryptids and Nick Caps retweeted a tweet I put out about this live stream. Thank you. If you're listening right now, sir, I appreciate that. Or, individual, I guess I could say. Guys, do me a favor. Put in the chat who's here watching right now so I know who is here live. I appreciate you hanging out with me live. If you have any Bigfoot encounters, any weird stories at all, you can call in 515-809-0165. Or if you have a friend that should be calling in, you're like, yeah, they've got a good story and they've never shared it, or it's been a while since they shared it, you can have them call in 515-809-0165. And we will see who we get to call in. It's kind of like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And I know that someone will call. Last episode, it took 40 minutes for someone to call in. And so here's the thing. It's like, half of it is, yes, I'm just here rambling about Bigfoot like a crazy person. But the other thing is like, so a few people have said, well, you could have people lined up to come on. But then I'm like, well, it's an open phone line show. So that kind of defeats the purpose. So I don't know. Let's see. We got I Talk Cryptids here. Yo, have I talked to you yet? I don't think I have. I need to check out your channel, man. Who else do we have in here? We got 5 people watching live. Also, if you are going to the Paranormal Podcast Awards tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, let me know who you are excited to see hopefully win. I know there's a lot of my friends that have been nominated by the listeners, so I'm excited to see some of them win as well. People that come to mind are like Shannon LeGros from Frey. We got Tate Hieronymus from the Bluff Creek Project podcast. So lots of people. And, it's not just Bigfoot stuff. There's cryptid stuff. There's, ghosty stuff. There's conspiracy stuff. There's all sorts of weird stuff. We got 6 people in the chat. Right now, we got 6 people watching live. Let me know in the chat who we got in here. Leave a little few words in there. And if you've got a story about Bigfoot, any cryptids, any weird stuff you can't explain, you can call 515-809-0165, record for the podcast, live on YouTube. Or if you have a friend that should be calling up, you can just send them a message right now. And you can say, hey, dudette, call in 515-809-0165. Talk to this guy, Jeremiah, who's just rambling in front of a camera live on YouTube for an hour 3 times a week. About hopefully, it's kind of like, the way I think of it is that I'm putting a spot out there for someone to randomly see this and say, I've got a story to share. Today is the day. And maybe they'll be putting it off. Maybe tonight's not going to, or this afternoon's not going to be the one. And they're going to wait until Tuesday. Tuesday will get here and they'll be like, I'm not feeling it today. Well, that's fine. You can wait until Thursday because they do Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday unless there's an emergency, right? Usual time is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. But let's see. Oh, I'll tell you what. I saw a behind the scenes look, pre-release, I guess you could say, of Tate Hieronymus's new doc episode that's coming out on November 20th. I believe is going to be the date because they release on the 20th of the month. It's about I'm not going to spoil where it is, but it's more of his adventures to do with his Bigfoot expedition among different states. A lot of really cool people in it. It's worth checking out. You got to definitely look up Tate Hieronymus's Bigfoot channel, and you can definitely spend a few hours watching some great videos. I have a episode with him. Alan, what's up, dude? Alan, today is the day to call in. I'm not gonna say it's not, but I am gonna say it is. I'm just kidding. If there's a certain date that you're waiting to call in, you call me then, bud. But if anyone has a story, they can go ahead and call in 515-809-0165. We got 5 to 6 people watching live. This is a good one. I'm going to go ahead and try to post this in a few groups here. If you could do me a favor, guys, and actually, I'm going to put in the chat, all you have to do is copy and paste that comment and go put it in a ton of groups. And I'm just going to spend a few minutes doing this. I know this is not good audio to listen to, but hey, this is I'm going to just put it in some real big ones real quick. We're going to put it in. Could try Sasquatch Chronicles fans here. Maybe it'll be approved. We'll see. So I'm literally just putting it in a bunch of huge Facebook groups real quick. And if it's approved, 60 to 80,000 people will see it. But you never know. All right. Okay. Well, that didn't work. Hey, all right. So let's see. I Talk Cryptids would love to join, but sadly I'm international. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I got to think of a way for international callers to call in. I'll tell some other groups I'm in about the open phone line. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is the thought that counts. And I need to think how I'm going to talk to international callers, because that could be, I know I actually have a lot of international viewers on YouTube. Let's check the phone lines. Do we have anything in here? Not quite yet. Let me do a little update. We are now about 19 days away from CryptidCon. So if you're going to be at CryptidCon, definitely look for this face right here, because I'll be there, not as a vendor. So I'll just be walking around, probably talking to random people. If you see me, don't be afraid to walk up and to be like, hey, Jeremiah, are you the guy from Bigfoot Society? Because I'm starting to get that. I'd starting to have random people walk up to me in weird places around here and be like, "Are you the like Bigfoot Society guy?" And it's like, "Yeah, I totally am," which kind of weirds you out, but that's how it is, right? Um, Let me go ahead and do a refresh here. If you have any stories to share, anything weird, think old school coast to coast AM. You can call in 515-809-0165. We're going to be doing this for a few more minutes. People are still getting warmed up. They're getting revved up. They're starting to share this. Um, Usually it takes a while for people to call in. That's all right. Let's see. We got about 30, 40 minutes here. Um, it'd be funny if I just started calling people. If anyone knows Bob Gillen's number, send him my way. Send him a text and be like, "Hey, you should totally call this guy on open phone lines right now." That would be a fun time. Um, okay, we're down to one. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, said I would do this, so we're gonna keep doing it. Um, well, here we are. Here we are. Hmm. Um, how else can I let people know? Let me know in the chat if you have any ideas. You know what this is? This is so reminiscent of when I first started this podcast, and like I was just rambling to myself for hours for the first 8 episodes. This is exactly what it is, which is cool because that actually turned into something. Of course, the format had to totally change, but um, does rambling to yourself like this for hours mean that you're crazy? I don't know. Maybe it does mean that you're crazy. But of course, if we're into Bigfoot, we're probably all a little crazy, right? Um, Also, if you're listening to this and you have like a documentary to plug or anything, and I haven't had you come on the podcast, like this is the time to do it. Literally, you can call in right now, 515-809-0165. It's 515-809-0165. And we can make it happen. We can get your. Oh, let me check the phone real quick. Um, Ooh, I got an idea. Hmm. What if I got to think of first off, I got to think of what I'm going to do when people don't call in. That's number 1. I got to think of an idea here. But I got to think of an idea of where to put this where people would actually call in with stories. Put some ideas in the chat of places I could put. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to share something real quick. I know this is super boring, but I don't know. I've got 4 people watching right now, and I'm literally just like babbling in front of the screen. So whoever is watching right now, like me, just try to figure this out. You guys are probably laughing your heads off, and I appreciate you being here for the long haul. I just need to type something real quick. Oh man, did my computer just freeze? Oh no. Are you oh no. Oh, is someone calling in? Boy. Uh-oh. Holy mackerel. My computer just totally froze up on me. This is wild. Something something weird is happening. Like, and the stream is still going. This is crazy. Like, there's still people in here. And I just had to restart my computer. Like, hats off to you guys for still being here, but I guess it just showed the screen, right? Um, Weird stuff. Dude, this is weird stuff. Um, Let me see if I can shut down a few. Maybe I have too many programs running here. Again, 6 people watching on the hope that someone will call in to 515-809-0165 on a whim to see if anyone has a story to share, Bigfoot related, weird stuff, something their grandparents, told them. Ooh, what's this? Hides in long grass. Join the Bigfoot Lab on Discord or Strange Paradigms on Discord. I don't know how do I find the Bigfoot Lab? I need to try that real. Can you send me an invite to those? Um, I'm gonna try to look that up real quick. This is kind of like us figuring out together here. Oh, here we go. I found it. Bigfoot Lab. Join server. Okay, I'm gonna try the Bigfoot Lab real quick. Yeah, that's not working. Strange Paradigms. Let's see if I can. Okay, sweet. Oh, let me this is wild, dude. So, for those of you just tuning in right now, I am trying to see if I can get the word out there. Um, let's see, Discord, put in this. Here we go. All right, I'm in Strange Paradigms. Sweet. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Wow, we have 6 people just watching me live just, like, ramble about trying to join a Bigfoot, Discord and trying to get people to join in. If you have any, stories about Bigfoot or anything weird, call 515-809-0165. Someone just call in. Yeah, it'd be a good time. Let's see, where can I post this? Oh, hides in long grass. You actually put it in the Discord. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. As if anyone has a weird story that they want to share, call 515-809-65 until 5:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. Live on YouTube and recorded for still 6 people watching me randomly type on a keyboard. Guys, if you have anything to share, you can go ahead, call on in 515-809-0165. If I'm going to keep doing these, I'll probably I'm going to have to reevaluate. I don't know. I can't just sit here for an hour, kind of talking to myself. That's what crazy people do, right? Yeah. But I do enjoy doing it. Okay, we're at 5 people. If you have a story to share, you can call in 515-809-0165. Or yeah, anything Bigfoot related, anything weird. Now is the time. Oh, I just got an idea. What if I go to, I think I'm in an Art Bell Facebook group. Check real quick. Yes. This would be perfect. People still watching this? People are still watching this. This is the crazy part. They're literally just sitting here watching me, just trying to figure this out. That's the craziest thing ever. I appreciate you guys hanging out, though. Let's see if we can figure this out. I'm going to go, I am going to search for Art Bell on Reddit real quick. There we go. Here we go. And I'm just going to make a post on Reddit. Call into 515-809-0165 with your weird, unexplained do an open phone line show like Bill used to do. Please call in right now until 5 p.m. Central Standard Time to share your story. Let's do this. All right. I'm going to post that in our /Art Bell. It'll be good times. Let's see if anyone, no one yet. I don't really want this. I don't want this to be the first, I think I have to study how Art did it a little bit more. I definitely need to study how Art did it a little bit more because I don't want this to be the first failure of an episode, which the way I view it is if people aren't calling in, then it's not an open phone lines. Although it is an open phone lines show. But if you don't have people calling in, that's kind of like, that means it's not working, right? So I might have to reevaluate the process a little bit. We will see. I appreciate you coming along for the ride here. Let's see. We still got 5 people here hanging out with me, trying to figure out life in this call-in show. You call 515-809-0165. I appreciate you all being here. Again, if you need something to do, you can call, or you can watch Paranormality Magazine's live paranormal podcast YouTube show for 2022 tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's what I'll be doing instead of doing the call-in show then how I usually do. This usually takes place Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Although after this episode, I might be totally revamping that because I don't know. We'll see. So I just went ahead and posted about this in a few. I still need to get into Bigfoot Lab here. Let me see if I can join in a Bigfoot Lab real quick. Just give me a minute here. Did I get in? Nope. I am in Bigfoot Lab. Oh, wow. Let me see. All right, I need to look through this. Oh, this is cool. Again, I've got 4. Oh, okay. Sharon, what's up? I would totally call in from rainy Vancouver Island, but I have a rambunctious 3-year-old granddaughter bouncing around and being very loud. I will tell you that I do not care about the noisy granddaughter. If you have something to share, you can call in. And the granddaughter stuff, I do not care. Like, I love kids. It'll be a fun chat. We'll make it happen. So you're welcome to call in, Sharon, if you want. 515-809-0165. I'm going to try to share this in Bigfoot Lab real quick. So let's see if I can get anyone from this. Right. Yeah, so maybe some other Sharon, you're totally welcome to call in any of the other shows too. Um, if you're ever at a point where you are more free to talk, would love to hear that. Let's see. All right. Checking out. Checking out Strange Paradigms Discord. This is Hides in Long Grass is a moderator on Strange Paradigms. Well, that's awesome, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Yeah. Good stuff. We got 7 people watching me try to do an open phone line show right now. There are not people calling in today, which is fine, but you are free. You have 17 minutes to call in until the end of the show to call in and share your story. 515-809-0165. We could get one in at the very end. We're desperately, people are trying to share the link, the phone number in different places all over the internet right now for people to call in. So please, if you've got any ideas, any people that, oh my goodness.
Call from Sharon.
Oh, sweet.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, Sharon.
Call from
Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Jeremiah.
Oh my goodness. It's a Christmas miracle. I appreciate you calling in. And
I couldn't leave you hanging.
I know.
could
I
not
was
leave you
like,
hanging.
I'm just trying to do the puppy dog eyes, and I was like, someone's gonna break. Now we got Chris Spencer hanging out in the chat, so that's cool. I don't know if you know Chris, but do you mind? This is live and being recorded for the podcast. I want to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. So Sharon, you're calling in from rainy Vancouver Island, which the idea I've heard that's a pretty squatchy place. What do we got going on?
Well, I don't have a really good story to tell.
Oh, that's all right.
But I've lived here for 30 years now, from the prairies originally. I've always had an interest in Sasquatch, but since living here, especially since moving to a rural location, I really do feel that there's some activity here. I'm too old to go out hunting for them and looking for them, but my daughter and I, who live in the same house, have both heard what we clearly think are vocalizations.
Really?
Late at night from our home. We do live in a small community, but it's a rural community, so like maybe 20 acreages.
Okay.
And we do have one advantage here, that vocalizations here cannot be confused with coyotes or fox, because we don't have either of those.
Yes.
So that rules those out. We do have barred owls, a lot of them. So there's one that took up residence outside my bedroom window in a tree last October.
A barred owl?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Just clarify.
And they make some crazy. They have a lot of calls that are very suspicious.
They do.
But the advantage of that is we've heard the barred owl calls a lot.
Okay.
And we can sort of filter out, oh, that was just probably another owl answering back or whatever. And the particular night, we both woke up because we heard, well, probably first of all, the barred owl going crazy outside my window.
Sure.
But we're separated by 2 floors, my daughter and I. She's on the upper floor of her house, and we're in an in-law suite below. So we're also on different sides of the house. But we texted each other at 2 in the morning. Did you hear that? And the only way I can describe it as being different is this barred owl was going crazy in the tree. I could hear answer backs from other owls. But then we both heard this sound that was really so much deeper and powerful is the only way I can describe it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's. Have you heard anything like it? I would assume you probably listened to Bigfoot audio in different places after that
I
occurrence.
have done. Yes, I started listening to podcasts, when we all did, when the pandemic started.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
So I listened to a lot of them, and I have listened to a lot of vocalizations. All I can say is my daughter and I just really felt this was something very different.
Wow, that's incredible. How close is your nearest neighbor?
Well, that's the thing. We are fairly close to our neighbors.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. We used to live in Victoria, which is on the tip of Vancouver Island. We've since moved. We've been 10 years, 12 years now, just 40 minutes north of Victoria. And we're in between a small little, like a very tiny little village. Well, 2 tiny little villages. There's a lot of people who live here. But the thing about Vancouver Island is 80% of it is still like wild, untamed rainforest,
Wow.
temperate rainforest. So even though there's people around us, we still feel very rural here.
I bet.
And we have close proximity to Goldstream Park, which is where one of the big salmon runs is every year.
Okay. That
And-
would be a great food source for sure then.
Exactly. So that was just, we started talking about it after we had heard this vocalization, but I do have one kind of funny story to tell that is
All right.
possibly a sighting.
Okay.
So when we were still living in Victoria, our second daughter to get married got married at a lake restaurant that is coincidentally now only a kilometer away from our house. But to us, we were still living in Victoria then, so we didn't know anything about this area to speak of.
Mm.
And she had this lovely wedding at the lake restaurant. Her dad and I were, of course, the last to leave because the parents have
Right.
to, pay the people and
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure everything's in
Oh,
order
yeah.
before you leave. So it was after midnight. We were finally leaving the restaurant. All the guests had long gone, and we were driving. My husband was driving, and we were like literally half a kilometer away from where we now live.
Mm.
But of course, we didn't know we'd be living up in this area. But we do remember being by the firehouse, the rural, this is all volunteer fire departments out here.
Oh, sure.
So we were just coming past the fire hall, or not the fire hall, the Legion, which is next to the fire hall. And all of a sudden, out of the ditch to the left, this, what we thought was a man in a ghillie suit, came leaping out of the ditch.
Really?
And my husband and I looked at each other like, what is going on? It was after midnight. Like, why is somebody dressed up in a
Ooh.
ghillie suit?
Yeah.
And it's dark. It's pitch dark. And we both just looked at each other like, what are we just seeing? And of course, he slowed down. And all I can say is it sort of, I want to say it sidestepped across the road, kind of keeping its eye on us, and dipped down into the other ditch and was gone. And we
That's
thought
wild.
nothing else of it. We told a few people, like, that we'd had this little event happen. And then I start listening to podcasts and hear people saying, well, it looked like someone in a ghillie suit.
I mean, what you're saying, like, it totally sounds like you saw a Bigfoot cross the road, like, no doubt.
But this happened in 2008.
Okay. Wow.
So that whole time, until I started listening to podcasts, I'd never heard anybody say it looked like someone in a ghillie suit.
That's wild. Isn't it the coolest thing though, when like you're like confused about something and then you hear someone else say something that's like, oh my goodness, that's what I experienced. That was it. It's crazy. I love that.
I'd like to think that that's what it was. I hope there's nobody out running around after midnight. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, why would someone?
And like, why run across when we were going by? Like,
yeah,
I don't even understand. It's a very quiet road leading up to the highway that would take us back into Victoria. So why would anybody be out fooling around taking chances like that?
Did you
anyway.
Did you get that one? That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that, Sharon. Did you get kind of a view of how tall the individual was?
Well, I feel like it was tall. Like my husband's 6 foot tall. And I felt like this was a very tall man.
Okay. Sure.
But like at no point did I ever think taller than a normal man. I
wow.
Thought, why would he take a risk like this?
Have you ever called this into or like submitted this to the BFRO or anything?
I haven't, because
wow.
I'm not convinced.
All right.
So I guess maybe I should.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
I know. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Because you might have a researcher actually contact you about it, which would be cool.
All right. I might do that.
So you mentioned you heard the vocalizations the one time.
Yeah, maybe once or twice during was last October.
I was going to ask, so it was around October. That's even cooler, Sharon, because like that's the time when stuff gets nuts.
I know. And my daughter's wedding was in October of 2008. So it's just kind of coincidental, but in a good way that, we started thinking maybe we've really got something going on. Now, there was a case that was widely reported from Alert Bay, which is the north end of Vancouver Island, in an Indigenous community there. And I think that was about 3 years ago. And my son-in-law, the one who married my daughter that day, he has lived in this region his whole life.
Okay.
And he said that he's heard there's a lot of activity in the Coxsila Valley, which is just to the north of us. So there's a river that runs, the Coxsila River runs through there. And as I say, even though a lot of people live here, we're still under 1 million people population for the whole of Vancouver Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the name of that river again?
Coxsila, Koksilah.
Okay.
And then Goldstream Park is, to get from Victoria to here, you go over a mountain called the Malahat Mountain, and Goldstream is at the base of that mountain before you climb over. So that's where the salmon run is every year. But there'd be salmon coming into the Coxsila as well.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So it's that river looks like it is. It's kind of is like the eastern part of the island. It looks like.
Yeah, we're on the eastern side. That's correct.
Gotcha.
The village that's closest to me is Mill Bay, just like it sounds, Mill Bay.
Sure.
And we are in between Mill Bay and Shawnigan Lake, and it was halfway between where we saw that whatever in a ghillie suit that we.
have you ever considered? Do you have any type of audio recorder?
No, I don't. And I sleep with a man who snores. So if I did get up and try to capture what was
Well, here's the thing. Here's what that's all fair enough. But what you could do is you could, and I mean, literally, so we've got people in listening to this right now that are big into Bigfoot researching in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. And
right.
Rebecca,
I'm aware of.
perfect. Yeah, Rebecca says, "Hey, putting out an audio recorder on your property could be very beneficial. It can get addicting though."
Right.
So she said what I was about to say, which is like, so even though, let's say there's a lot of snoring going on in your area, right? What she said is you can take an audio recorder and you can put it like outside your house on a picnic table, or like somewhere where it's not going to pick up the snoring, but it could pick up other things, and you could
We're
record
on an
overnight.
acre.
So
We're on an acre, and the back half of our acre is forest. So we
there
could
you go.
easily put one up in a tree there, I guess.
Oh, sure, for sure, yeah. I mean, I'll let you know. Like it is addicting because, like, so let's say you get like 6 or 7 hours of audio, and then you're just like kind of you figure out how to analyze it, and then you're like, oh, what was that? Oh, so what a barred owl sounds like. Thankfully, I didn't know at the time,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is this monkey weird thing up in the trees? But
Oh,
you
and
already
they
know
make
it
a
sounds like
lot.
that.
Yeah, and they make a lot of different calls, to be fair, like a lot. They have a lot
True.
of different vocalizations that they make. But when you've lived with them for 12 years, you sort of get used to their language. Yeah. And as I say, it's lucky for me because coming from the prairies, I do know that coyotes can make a lot of different sounds too, but they're, as I say, automatically eliminated because we don't have fox or coyotes here.
And is that like Alberta? Is I'm not super familiar with my Canadian geography. That would be like Alberta province.
That's the province. That's the province next to British Columbia.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. That's awesome. Are there any other weird things that you've experienced in Vancouver Island, or is that the main thing is that sometimes we got Bigfoot stuff going on, or is there any other weird stuff that sometimes happens up there?
Well, I mean, you hear lots of weird things per se,
Okay.
but nothing that I really know to talk about.
I got you. Yeah, that's no problem.
I mean, we think we're all a little
a little weird
up here in the Cowichan Valley, which is where we live. So.
Anything, and before I let you go, I'm just kind of throwing out random lines, right? Just in case something hits. Did you experience anything weird in the other part of Canada that you lived at before you moved out to Vancouver?
I did not, but my husband's brother-in-law, who is now deceased,
okay,
was working for, I want to say they were working for he was cutting lines to put in power for a forestry project in Nordegg in northern Alberta.
Okay.
And he told the story when he was still with us. He told my husband that, and this is documented too. And there is a podcaster who touched on it. He might not have been a podcaster. He might just have a YouTube channel where he's done a few things, and he did reference this. What happened in Nordegg, because there was about 40 people who witnessed it, apparently.
Okay.
Of what looked like a giant ape throwing a huge barrel
of
diesel down the hill.
Holy mackerel.
And if you just type in Nordegg with 2 G's, you'll find it. So this was my husband's brother-in-law who told this story, that he was working up there in the region when this incident happened. Of course, he isn't around to ask for details.
Wow, that is Nordic. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look into it. That's so wild. Like 40 people saw an ape
They
throw.
They weren't
That's
all in one
wild.
place either. They were in a few locations.
Wow.
I could have my facts wrong. Don't quote me. Just go.
Oh
look
yeah,
it up
sure. Yeah,
yourself.
we're just sharing stories. No problem. And
Okay.
that's crazy because northern Alberta, you know, you're starting to get up by
Well,
northwest
Nordeg is,
territories.
well, not that far
Oh,
though.
okay.
Nordeg is not that far away from Edmonton,
Okay.
which is really
Gotcha.
like in the center of the province.
Sure.
My brother lived up further north, like 2 hours north of Peace River, but we weren't talking about Sasquatch back in those days. So if he'd ever heard anything weird, you know.
That's still it's very close to a lot of national parks, like looks like Jasper, Banff, Glacier National Park. I mean, I could totally. I mean, those national park areas. That's where, you know, stuff can hide out. I mean, nothing's messing with it, right? So that's cool. That's a cool story. Thank you for sharing that. You know, but it's been super enjoyable talking to you, Sharon. Thank you so much for calling in. Great story.
All right. You take care and just don't give up.
You got it. If you ever have anything weird happen, feel free to call in, and I appreciate your encouragement. Will. Yeah.
All right.
You have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Wow. Well, isn't that cool? Sharon at the last minute calls and shares an amazing story about hearing Sasquatch on her property and like all this cool stuff. Like, Sharon, that was great. People people listening to this right now are loving it. Patrick is like giving a thumbs up. Fifebot is like, great stories, Sharon. We got 13 people hanging out here. It is the end of the hour. Again, we kind of, I switched it to a different time slot real quick. So I'm surprised people are actually here. Thank you so much. The next one, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursday, Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you don't have anything going on tonight, track down Paranormality magazine, paranormalitymag.com. There is a 2022 Paranormal Podcast Awards going on tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Alan says, good story. Appreciate you being here, dude. All have a great night, and I appreciate all you being here and hanging out. And Sharon, thanks again for calling in, and have a good night all.